Hey, shalom, shalom, kwam yasha'Allah. Just want to give all praises, glory, honor due unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rekah HaKodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, that do teach one that have taught me this truth. To you I say shalom, and shalom to the hopeful elect, kwam yasha'Allah, and above all. So, in this lesson today, I'm going to explain the difference between short-range ballistic missiles versus ICBMs, better known as intercontinental ballistic missiles. And the inspiration for this video comes from this article that I found here, and also from Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16, which I'm going to pull up. So when we go into the scriptures and we talk about thermonuclear destruction, missiles and things of that nature, how America is going to be destroyed by the way of fire, that's going into ICBMs. And for brothers that are going out there and teaching, you need to understand the difference between short-range ballistic missiles, which are really conventional warheads, versus intercontinental ballistic missiles. They're two different things. They're not the same. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to explain the difference between the two, and I'm going to get scriptures. Okay, so it says here, Iran tests ballistic missiles in preparation for strike on Israel. Tehran simulates attack on Israeli hangar housing American-made F-35s. So when you go into the article and you read it, this is really going into short-range ballistic missiles, because in the article it says that these ballistic missiles can travel up to 1,000 kilometers. So this is not an ICBM, because ICBMs or intercontinental ballistic missiles, their range is greater than 5,000 kilometers, and really they're primarily designed for nuclear weapons delivery, right? So the ballistic missiles in this article, it's going into conventional warheads or conventional explosives. So what's a conventional explosive? Something like TNT, right? So that's what it's going into, right? So a short-range ballistic missiles, you have to understand they stay within the Earth's atmosphere, whereas an intercontinental ballistic missile, they are launched on a suborbital flight. So that means they go into space, and then that's when they go back down to the Earth and they hit their target. So those are different, right? But this is going to lead up to the usage of ICBMs, because that's going to happen at the very end. The Lord's going to put the Spirit on these nations to shoot ICBMs at each other. And you're seeing it, man. You see Russia, they have the Satan 1, the Satan 2. And I believe America, they have the super duper missile. I believe that's what it's called. And then China, they have the MOAB. Right? So you're seeing the world moving into using ICBMs, right? Or using them, right? It's going to happen. So this is just going into short-range ballistic missiles. Now, you notice it says here, Tehran simulates attack on Israeli hangar housing American-made F-35. So that's what short-range ballistic missiles are used for, right? These conventional warheads, obviously, they're highly explosive propelled munitions, and they are most useful against military targets, and that's what you're seeing here, right? So what are military targets, right? That includes like armor, infantry, like aircraft, buildings, helicopters, and certain populations, and that could also be civilian populations, right? So that's what you would use a ballistic missile or a cruise missile for. You wouldn't use an ICBM for this. Now, if you were to use an ICBM, that means you want to annihilate everything. You want to annihilate everybody and everything. And that's where we're going to get to in the future. Okay, the Lord has set that up. Now, let's go into, let's get this first. Another scripture that comes to mind is Revelation 7. But let's get Isaiah 54 and 16 first. Now it says here, Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, Salakia, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. Yeah, and this this is very serious. This is a very serious scripture, because the Lord is telling you that He has created these scientists, which are the modern day Smiths, to create a bomb, a super bomb, an atom bomb. He put the Spirit on them to create nuclear bombs, nuclear weapons, and that's true, because you can see that, because who created the atom bomb, right? Who created the world's first atomic bomb? And they say that it was physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer and Army Lieutenant Jen Leslie, obviously Jen Leslie Groves, and they made a movie about this, right? They made a movie about this not too recently. Well, yeah, recently, Salakia. I think it was like maybe 2 years ago, or last year or 2 years ago. I think it was called Oppenheimer. I can't remember, but I didn't watch it, but I know that movie came out. Brothers were talking about it. And then later on, guess what? You had something called the Manhattan Project. And it was a project of research and development undertaken during World War II to produce the first nuclear weapons. So you're seeing it here. The Lord, He has created the Smith, which is the modern day scientist, to develop atomic weapons and nuclear weapons. So these weapons that these scientists have created, they're going to be used. They're going to be used, okay? And these other nations, man, they have nuclear capabilities. You have North Korea, you have China, you have Russia, you have even America, and even Pakistan, and I think India as well, right? So hey, the Lord's getting ready to put the Spirit on these other nations or the kings of the earth, to use these weapons against each other, and that's going to bring total destruction, man. Total destruction. So I thought I'd just bring that out, just for edification's sake. Also, you got to go back into Project Paperclip, Salakia, because after World War II, the major superpowers, primarily Russia and America, were fighting to get a hold of the Nazi scientists. All right, and they were the ones that helped develop nuclear weapons and things of that nature. And they helped develop the space program and stuff like that, right? So that falls into Isaiah 54 and 16. Now, what I was thinking about Revelation chapter 7, verse 1, and it says, "And after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east." Okay, so this is the Lord making these four angels hold back the destroying wind, right? And that's exactly what nuclear destruction does. It brings forth a type of wind, right? When you look it up, maybe I should look it up for you guys. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. Actually, Salaki, I'm having some technical difficulties, man. I can't pull it up for some reason. I don't know. My phone's acting up. But I will say this though. When a nuclear weapon explodes, it gives off four types of energy, right? So it's a blast wave, intense light, heat, and radiation. And that's what it's talking about here, because that's what it's talking about, a wind, that destroying wind. So anyways, it says here, verse 2, "And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads." So the reason why nuclear destruction hasn't happened yet is because the Lord is holding back the four winds, and he has to make sure the elect is sealed. That's the only reason why nuclear war hasn't popped off. So really, man, nuclear destruction should have already happened, really, if it wasn't for the saints or the elect. Because this is going into the sealing of the elect. Right? So the elect has to be sealed. So once the elect is sealed, then that's when destruction is going to come. Right? And all the signs are there. All the signs for destruction are there, man. We're seeing it. Right? We're seeing it. So it's very serious. Very serious. Now, let's go into Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. Because this is a nuclear destruction scripture. So this is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh Bashem Yoshai of hosts or armies, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Okay, so this means leave them neither root nor branch. So everything's going to be destroyed. Children included, their posterity, everything that they made, all their monuments, infrastructure, everything's going to be totally destroyed. So what can do that? What type of fire can do that? It's talking about a nuclear fire, a nuclear explosion, man. Right? So that's gonna incorporate a blast wave, intense light, heat, and radiation. That's what's gonna cause leave them neither root nor branch. Okay? Verse 2, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as cows of the stall, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith Yahweh of armies. Right? So, hey, yeah, but the main point was in verse 1. Now I'm going to get the next one. This is 2 Peter's chapter... You get it? 2 Peter's chapter 3 and 10. It says a new heaven and earth. And that's what we're looking forward to. And in order for a new heaven and earth to come into fruition, nuclear destruction has to come. That fire is actually going to cleanse the earth. And after a certain period of time, then the earth will be habitable again. And the scriptures talks about that too. Right? So anyways, it says here 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10. But the day of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai power, will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. That's right. So it says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. You know what that means, the elements. So everything on this earth is composed of elements. All the cars that you drive, or the car that you do drive, right? The elements are in you. Your cells. You have copper, you have iron, you have all those stuff. All those elements are in your body, right? Those elements are what makes you human, right? So even as us individuals, man, we're composed of different elements that are found on the periodic chart. When you go into chemistry. So these buildings, these roads, all those are composed of elements. Everything that you interact with has elements in it. Okay? So that's going to be burnt up. So now, what kind of fire can do that, man? That's actually talking about a nuclear fire. Okay? That's not talking about a conventional explosive. A conventional explosive cannot do that. It doesn't have enough force. It doesn't have enough power. So this is talking about nuclear explosives. Okay? So verse 11, it says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Yeah, so if you know that this is going to happen, if you can see it, right? If you can see it, if you believe it through faith, so what should you be doing? You should be getting right with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Now, if you're able-bodied to go into the highways and byways as a man, you should be doing that, right? You should be teaching this word. Now, if you can't do that, you should be getting right with the Lord. You should be teaching your family. You should be praying. You should be fasting. doing whatever it takes for you to get saved, man, because it's going to be a horrible time in the near future, man. It's going to be a horrible time. And the only person that can save you is Yahushua. All right? All right, anyways. So it says, verse 12, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Fervent heat. See if I can look up the word fervent. It means intense, man. It's along those lines. Kasu.
Strong's G 2741. Kausao. Kausao.
All right, to burn up, set fire to suffer with feverish burning, be parched with fever. Wow. Wow. Now, yeah, and that's what's going to happen, man. That reminds me of the Sarah Connor scripture. Holes. Let's see here. I know that's in... Yeah, here we go. This is the Sarah Connor scripture. Because nuclear destruction will do this to you. Will burn that flesh off your bones, man, and burn your eyes out of its sockets. Okay, so this is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. Remember that vision that Sarah Connor got? That's going into thermonuclear destruction. You know, when she was holding the fence, that's what happens to you guys that are straddling along the fence. You're gonna get judged, man. You're gonna get burnt up. And she was holding the fence, and guess what? Boom, she got burnt alive. All that skin came off her flesh, off her bones, right? Her flesh came off her bones, and it was just her skeleton hanging onto the fence, man. And all her eyes were burnt out of her sockets, man. That was crazy. So this is Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. And who are the people that fought against Jerusalem, man? Obviously, that starts with the 2/3 too. Because you had our own people fighting against their own people to take them down too, man. Don't forget about that. But that goes into these other nations first and foremost. Okay, yeah, right? If you want to get technical, going into Psalms, the 83rd chapter. So that's pretty much going into all the nations, man. Right? And the first one is the nation of Edom. So this plague is for you. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. So he said, see how it says, their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet? Isn't that what happened in Terminator 2? And that's thermonuclear destruction. That's what it does. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. That's right. So the only thing that can do that is thermonuclear destruction. So like I said earlier, man, when a nuclear weapon explodes, it gives off 4 types of energy. You can look this up yourself. A blast wave, intense light, heat, and radiation. And all those things that I just mentioned are covered in the scriptures, right? Going into 2 Peter chapter 3 and 10. Going into Malachi 4 and 1. Going into Zechariah 14 and 12. Going into Revelation chapter 7, that destroying wind. Hey man, that destroying wind is a blast wave. And then it creates intense light, heat, and radiation. So hey, that's nuclear destruction, man. Don't ever forget it. That's serious. So now let's go into Revelation. And yes, I'll post a link in the description during post-production for the article. You can read it yourself. All right, so anyways, this is Revelation chapter 20. And I'm going to start at verse 14. This is another scripture or precept that we use for nuclear destruction. Now it says here, Revelation chapter 20, verse... Actually, you know what? Actually, start at 14, man. Let's get to the point. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So what's going to create a lake of fire, man? Right? What's going to create a lake of fire? Thermonuclear destruction, man. It's going to be lava-like. So much fire, man. So much fire. It's going to be all around you. You're going to be engulfed in flames. And that is the second death, man. That's the second death. Not like how it was for the first death, where it was by water, going back to Noah in the time of the flood. Oh, this second death is going to be fire. Okay, fire. And whosoever was not found written in the book, that's right, the ones that didn't believe, the ones that are wicked, you're going to be cast into the lake of fire. So you're going to be judged. You're going to end up like Sarah Connor, man. So what could do this? The only thing that can do this are thermonuclear weapons. That's the only thing. Not ballistic missiles. Okay, not ballistic missiles. You need intercontinental ballistic missiles to do this. Because intercontinental ballistic missiles, they were designed to deliver nuclear warheads, nuclear weapons. Okay? So yeah, that's all I got. Well, actually, you know what? Let me get Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, because this explains intercontinental ballistic missiles. It goes a little bit more in depth. So let's go into Second Ezra, chapter 16. And I don't know, where should I start? Because I want to get to the point, just for the sake of time. You know what? Maybe I should probably start at 12. Let's start at 12. Okay, so it says, actually, no, let's start at verse 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The answer is no, you can't. Because once that arrow is shot off, you can't grab it out the sky. Unless you have spiritual powers. You can fly and go grab it, like Superman. Now it says here, verse 8, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? So the Lord, he's going to send the plagues. Just like what we read in Revelation chapter 7, the Lord right now, he's working, he set up the angels to work on the minds of the kings of the earth to hold back the destruction. But when you go into Revelation 8 and Revelation 9, it talks about how the Lord is going to take away those angels, and they're no longer going to work on the minds of the kings of the earth, and the kings of the earth are going to go to war with each other and shoot off their missiles. Right? So you can't stop this, man. You can't stop the plagues. The Lord, he set this up. Verse 9, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? Can't quench this fire. Can't quench it. It kind of reminds me of those old Sprite commercials. Obey your thirst. Right? But yeah, man, you can't quench it. You can't quench it. It's just going to keep burning and burning and burning and burning. That's serious. And the only thing that can do that is thermonuclear destruction. Nuclear weapons. You know, bombs that are made out of fissionable materials. Like plutonium and uranium, man. So it says here, verse 10, he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? Man, once you hear that siren go off, that's like a threat. You know, that siren that they have, each and every nation has like a siren, you know, a panic siren to warn the population that, destruction's coming your way, especially thermonuclear destruction. You know, when you're watching your Family Guy, your Netflix, and all of a sudden the TV cuts off and it says, oh, prepare for war, prepare for nuclear destruction, get to somewhere safe. You know, that's a threat, man. That's the Lord threatening you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? A lot of you people, man, you won't know what to do. A lot of you people are going to bitch up and cry. So it says here, verse 12, the earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth up with waves, from the deep, and the ways of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss. That's right. You know, for an ICBM to go suborbital, right, to go into a suborbital flight path, that shows that the Lord, the Lord is a what do they call it? He's the one that's shooting the bow, and that shows that he's a strong archer. That shows. And these missiles, you know, they have computer chips in them, right? So they're guided. They're set up to go to a certain point, and when it hits that certain point, then that's when the warheads drop. So it's on point. But that's also spiritual as well, because the scripture says that the angels are a minister, a flame of fire. Briefly paraphrasing. Matter of fact, let me pull that up. I think I butchered it. I don't think I said it entirely correct, but ministers. So bear with me. Bear with me. No, it's up here. Hold on. Here we go. This is Psalms 104, verse 4. And it says here, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. That's right. So they're going to be in those missiles. They're going to be guiding those missiles to its designated target. So you can't stop this destruction because it's spiritual. Yes, you're going to have these certain top generals, these leaders, they're going to shoot them off. But who's behind that? The Lord and his angels, man. They're going to guide them missiles, and they won't break their ranks. You're not going to have a broken arrow. They're all going to hit their targets. All right, so let's go back. Now, yeah, so the Lord, he's a strong archer, man. And it says here, shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So you see that? It says shot into the ends of the world. A normal bow and arrow cannot do that. So this is talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles. So it goes from one continent to the other continent. So verse 14, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come up upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. That's right. So this fire is not going to be put out until it consumes what it's supposed to consume. So, hey, that's not talking about conventional ballistic missiles. That's not talking about conventional explosives like TNT. This is talking about thermonuclear weapons. Thermonuclear explosives. Okay, bombs that are made out of fissionable materials like plutonium and uranium. And these different nations, they have those type of bombs. They have those type of nuclear weapons. I'm telling you. So the scriptures does not lie. It does not lie. The Lord is a power that cannot lie. So he's telling you the truth. Verse 16, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. See that? Hey, so once these missiles are shot off, they're not going to return back to its owner. Hey, so once you start seeing them missiles come out them silos, that's it. It ain't going to go back in them silos. Right? Hey, once it's authorized to be shot off, that's it. It's it. Verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Good question, man. Good question. And really the answer to that is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And really tomorrow's not promised to you. All right? Not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody's going to make it. Okay? Not everybody's going to make it. So only the hopeful elect. Remember, the scripture says many are called, but few are chosen. A lot of men that know this truth, they're just called right now, but that doesn't mean you're chosen. So if that's the case, let's go back to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10 and down. seeing that the earth is going to be dissolved, right? I'm just briefly paraphrasing. What manner of conversation or holy conversation should you be in? And you should be in holy conversation, which is going on to the highways and byways and trying to obtain salvation. That's it. So anyways, hope this was edifying. Till next time, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, that rule well, that do teach well, and that have taught me this truth. To you I say shalom, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Kwam Yasha Allah and above all. Shalom.